Hi, and welcome to Math 0200 Algebra 2. This will be the first of 3 videos going over some of the basic features of the course on eLearn. Now this first one is just a basic introduction which will show you where some of the uh, necessary functions for the course are located. Now the first thing is when you go into the course on eLearn, the first thing you might want to do is to go to the content area. Now when you have first entered the course, you won't see these week 1 through week 8 folders. They'll become available after you've completed this course overview survey. Now in this course overview section, the first thing is there's located the syllabus for the course, so you should read over the syllabus. Then a welcome from your instructor. Each one will be different based on who your instructor is. Now the next one will be the course requirements page. This is one of the most important places in the course, which will have the due dates for all of the assignments for the course. Now this one is for the spring 2002 course, so again it'll be different for you depending on the term of your course. So you'll notice, okay, so for this first week there are 4 assignments due. So you see you have one due on the very first Wednesday of the semester or term, and then you may have 2 or more assignments maybe due on Friday and then on Sunday. So this will show you the due dates for each assignment. Now one thing to note for the section assignment sets, even though these are the due dates, you could of course work on them early because all of them will be available to you starting on the first day of the semester. So you could always work ahead, and we highly recommend it because you don't want to wait to the last minute to do your assignment sets because who knows, you may have technical difficulties or there may be issues with the website. So again, it's best to not wait to the last minute to do your assignment sets. Now, for each assignment set, one thing to note, there's a lessons assignments and there's a homework and then there's a quiz. Those are all due on the same day. Then there also has the due dates for the exams. There are 2 exams and then the final exam. So again, make sure you keep track of those due dates. And those exams are available for a number of days before the due date. So you don't have to wait till the due date to actually do the exam. If you feel ready ahead of time, or if you happen to have things to do on the day of the due date, you can do it beforehand as well. Now again, going back to this course overview, the next thing is this link. It says My Lab and Mastering Tools. This is the link you'll click on to register for the My Math Lab portion of the course. Now one thing, when you've purchased your materials from the bookstore, eCampus, or you may also actually purchase them through this website as well. They may come with instructions on how to register for a course. Now, we do not follow those directions because we have the My Math Lab integrated within our eLearn courses, so you won't necessarily follow those directions. What you will do is you'll click on this My Lab and Mastering Tools, and it'll open up a window and it will start you with the registration process. Now with that registration process, you'll need an email address, and then you'll come up with a password, and then you also will need My Math Lab access code. Now again, you could either purchase that from the bookstore, where they'll put it in your digital bookshelf on the eCampus site, or you could also purchase it directly through the Pearson My Math Lab site. So when you're going through this registration process, if you happen to have a credit card and or a PayPal account, you can purchase your My Math Lab access through that as well. And then if you're unable to purchase an access code right away, you can always use the free 14-day temporary access. Now one thing, that means that everybody should be able to access their assignments on the very first day of class. Because again, remember, the first assignment set is due on the first Wednesday of the week. So again, there is no excuse to not be able to do your assignments on time. Now there's other sections listed in here that'll be like about this course, the grading information, and some other things. And once you've gone through all of that, then you'll click on the course overview survey. And then you'll take this quick quiz, which will have some basic questions about what you just went over. And then once you've done that and got 100%, then these other week folders will become available for you. Now let me just give a brief introduction to those. Now let's go into the week 1 and let's go into the section 5.1. So you see, okay, the objectives, you to read the introduction and objectives page. Then you to read the section 5.1 in your textbook. Now there's a link here that'll take you to the ebook version of the textbook. So you don't need a hard copy of the textbook, but if you want one, you can purchase that from the bookstore as well, but it is not necessary. And then once you read the section, one thing with this link, it'll take you to the table of contents, so you then have to go to the specific section that you're doing. Once you read the textbook, then you can start working on your MyMathLab assignments. Now if you notice, right now it only has these lesson ones, and at first it may only have the very first one. The lessons will become, or more of the assignments will become available once you do them in order. So this lesson B of 5.1 would only become available after you did the lesson A of 5.1. So you got to do them in order. And then once you've done the lesson assignments, then the homework assignment will become available. Now let me view this as an instructor just so you can see. And gotta go back to it. So you see, like I said, here's the lessons assignments, then there's the homework assignment, and then there's a quiz. So you got to do the lessons assignments, which consists of a video and then a homework assignment, and then you do each one of those lessons, kind of like paying attention while your instructor is doing a lecture. So they do an example, you do a problem. They do an example, you do a problem, and so on. And then once you've done the lesson assignments, then you do the homework assignment. And then once you've scored at least an 80% on the homework assignment, then you could do the quiz, which are timed, and you only have, I believe, 3 opportunities to do each one of those quizzes. Now, one thing I always recommend when it comes to those quizzes, if you do it once and you don't score 100%, don't right away click on it to do the second attempt. You should try to review to see what did you do wrong on that previous attempt. And you could even look at the homework assignment problems that are like it to increase your chance to get a better score on your next attempt. Just don't blindly go and say, oh, I'm just going to try it again, and without, like I said, studying for it. So then there are some additional learning materials for some of the sections, which are like some additional pages and videos we've created. And then, let's see, the exams are located in here as well. So like for week 3, the first folder is the exam 1. So what you'll do is review the section. You could take this practice test, which is not required, but I highly recommend you do it. And actually, I recommend you do it as soon as you register for the course. That way, you could download the required lockdown browser and get used to the online proctor system that we'll be using for the exams, and not wait to the last minute to do this, because there's always sometimes technical issues and so on. Now, one thing, when you're taking the exams, you will need to have a webcam, and the system is not compatible with Chromebooks or iPads. So if you have one of those, you could borrow a laptop from Sinclair, and your instructor will provide you with that link, so you could borrow either a laptop and or a webcam if you do not have either one of those. Now, after you've completed the practice test, then you could do the exam review assignments. Those are required. And there's also these review sheets for each one of the exams. These are optional. These are ones you could download and print if you want, and just do them. And there are the answers on the uh, back of the back of the review sheets, so you can know if you did them right. So that way you have like a paper pencil one examples. And then once you're ready to take the exam, you would click on the exam link, and again it'll open up a lockdown browser, which again will make it so you can only access the test, and you can't access anything else on your computer at that time. It'll also turn on a webcam. And when you take the exams, don't forget that you will need to have your ID, picture ID with you, either your Sinclair or maybe something like a driver's license or maybe other school ID that needs to have your picture and your name on it for verification of your identity. And you should also have paper and something to write with, and you can use a scientific calculator. So when you're doing your exam, you should write down your work neatly, so like have it numbered and show your work for each question, because this will allow you the chance for partial credit. Because after you're done with the exam, then you could take a picture of your work, and using an app like Genius Scan or some other ones where you could take a picture of your work, save it as something like a PDF file, then you'll deposit it in the drop boxes immediately after you complete your exam, and that'll allow the possibility of partial credit from your instructor. And so that's the basic setup for the course. We'll create a couple other videos which will show you more specifics of the MyMathLab assignments, and we'll talk about the exams as well. And good luck with the course.